Hello and welcome to eLet's Innovation Talk. I am Dr. Asavri Sawant, Public Health Specialist for eHealth for eLet's Technomedia. And today we have a very special guest with us. We have Dr. Vinay Bhatia, who is the head of molecular biology and genomics of Onquist Laboratories. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. So for our viewers, Dr. Vinay Bhatia has diverse work experience in the field of molecular biology, genomics, and research with more than 17 years of experience in the field of molecular diagnostics. Dr. Bhatia has been instrumental in translating molecular biology tools to develop molecular assays for diagnosis and monitoring of various diseases and implementing in clinical practice. So, ma'am, thank you so much. We are delighted to have you with us on this discussion with eLets. So, for the starting, let us start with knowing a little bit about yourself and the organization, if you can tell us.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Vinay Bhatia, heading Molecular Biology and Genomics Department. So, by training, I am molecular biologist and associated with Onquist since 2012. So we have a complete setup of molecular diagnostic division along with our R&D department, where we are well equipped to have new assay development as a part of our R&D activity. So whatever new is being required as per the NCCN guidelines, we are supposed to have that test in our test portfolio. So our R&D team is quite efficient enough, and we are well equipped with the equipments where even, we can develop new assays and design new assays. We have homebrew assays. We have commercial assays. So as per the requirement, we are updating our test menu.
Great. Thank you so much for explaining our viewers the same. So let us start with the first question that we are very curious about, which is in the dynamic landscape of clinical diagnosis. There are many key factors that contribute to the growth and success of organizations. So what have been those key factors that you have and the organization has kept in mind while navigating the highly competitive diagnostics industry in India?
Yeah. So in this competitive era, the diagnostic industry must have certain important points they should keep in mind. First and foremost important thing is to have technological advancements. So if you are updated and you have upgraded your system with technology, there is no way you can, fall behind. Secondly, you have to invest on the R&D part. Your research and development should have certain investments where, you are free to have new assay development, looking at the market need. You have to be ahead of the market. So your research and development should be working towards it. And third important point is quality assurance. If you're adopting good quality assurance practices, then you are ensuring accuracy and reliability of the diagnostic modalities which you are providing in, right? And fourth very important point is having skilled professionals in your organization so that you can bring in more and more attractive services to the clients and to the patients and to the healthcare industry. And you are keeping yourself ahead also in the market. And last but not the least, optimizing operational cost, and that too keeping in mind that the quality doesn't hamper. So that these are the very important factors which any diagnostic industry should keep in mind to get successful and to get growth in this area.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I will come back to you, all the points that you have covered, and also ask few more questions on the organization. But before that, I am really curious about your journey into this space of genomics and molecular biology.
Yeah.
So what motivated you to get into this field, and what was that? Was there any, big thing that, made you gravitate towards this aspect and not our regular engineering, medicine that young people usually go for?
Yeah. So it's very important question for a person who is doing PhD and who has done PhD in this field, where when we did PhD, PCR was the first technology which we learnt there. And we didn't have this much information that we are going to evolve this much in this industry if we look at, that era where only PCR was the important technology which we're using, conventional PCR. Then we moved to real-time PCR, then we moved to ARMS PCR, RQ-PCR, followed by Sanger sequencing, and, a lot of evolution till this next-gen sequencing. So, what motivated me is like, when I got the exposure to work in a diagnostic company in my first organization, in my first experience. I got to know that it is a complete application base. Whatever you are learning, it is getting translated into, healthcare industry, and you are assisting patient for the diagnosis of the disease at the right point of time, so that they can be managed properly and without further delaying their treatment part. Because basing on the molecular diagnostics, which has created revolution in this era, where, basing on this information, patients are being treated, and may it be a cancer patient, or maybe a patient with certain infection like hepatitis infection or HIV infection, or maybe a certain genetic disorder we talk about. So, molecular diagnostics is playing most important part. So that had created interest in me, so that, since it is application based and it is getting immediately translated into this healthcare industry, and that was the reason I had opted for this. I believe that justifies the answer, because if you talk about molecular diagnostics, all the cancer patients are being treated basing on the genomic profiling at this point of time. So this is very, very important area in this era.
And ma'am, naturally, all through these years of your extensive practice into this field, as you shared, you have encountered very many different technologies.
Yes.
And with the coming of AI and ML and this all, newer machine learning technologies, how do you see precision medicine taking the forefront? If so, and if not, do you feel there is any other technology that you see, really shining bright in the coming years?
So at this moment, of course, precision medicine has taken over, because if I take an example of cancer patient treatment, precision medicine is at the top at this point of time. All the patients who are being treated are not being treated with the similar kind of medicine, because every patient tumor would have different genomic profiling, and basing on that genomic profiling, treatment would be different. So one size fits all, it's not the theory for the cancer patient treatment. Each patient genomic profiling would be done. Basing on that, personalized treatment would be given, and that is how, since we have FDA approved drugs against those biomarkers identification, the patients are being treated well, basically. So, at this point of time, precision medicine is the need of the hour. Going forward, or maybe we can say that parallelly, there are certain other technologies which are also coming up, like microarray is also coming up for, chromosomal abnormalities, where small abnormalities which are being missed out by cytogenetics, or karyotyping can be picked up by microarray. I believe precision medicine will stay, but of course, technological advancement would happen in future. Maybe that will be an additional information along with this, whatever technology which we are using, that maybe help us in providing more information in future.
Okay, thank you so much for enlightening us with that. Before we jump on to more questions about the organization, there is one more question I wanted to know, that, ma'am, precision medicine and predictive medicine, these, terms are very largely used in these years. So can you please help our audience understand, when it comes to, diagnostics and predicting any disease before it has even happened, or for example, as some people call it, predicting the disease of the embryo that has just anticipated in the womb, is that even possible? And where are we right now, and where do we see ourselves in future?
See, basically, predictive medicine is a very common term which is being used for, prediction of a disease in advance. Like we have already heard about Angelina Jolie, where we came to know about entire world came to know about genetic testing per se, this BRCA1 and BRCA2, where patient basically prediction means you are predicting whether you are going to have this particular disease in future basing on your genetic makeup. Like in BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene mutation, we know if there is a mutation, the patient is likely to have, probability of having a disease after certain year is more as compared to the general population. Like for BRCA1, BRCA2, it is like for breast cancer or for ovarian cancer or for maybe prostate cancer. So predictive medicine is playing an important role. We are screening families also. If a person is already having disease, he or she is the index case. So looking at their genetic makeup and the information which we get from their genes, we go back and trace their first degree relatives and mainly first degree relative to see whether the same mutation which is there in the index patient is present in the family members. So which will help us in, we are going to be more attentive in that scenario. Patient and patient family would be more attentive. They can get themselves checked in between over and over, so that, if at all there is certain indication, they can be clinically intervention can be given to them at the right point of time.
And we can be prepared about those diseases which haven't, shown signs as of now.
Yeah.
So, okay. So thank you so much. Coming back on to some questions about the organization and OnQuest. So how has the integration of cutting edge technology and skills benefited in maintaining the position of excellence in molecular diagnostic services all across India and neighboring countries?
Yeah. So the merger of high-end technologies and highly skilled professional is most important. It's not only high-end technology, but the highly skilled professional are equally important. So if I talk about high-end technology called NGS, which is next gen sequencing, which is very complex technology, which will generate humongous data through the equipment, which there are a few companies who are providing these equipments. So when we get that data is not going to serve the purpose. There should be highly skilled professional who should be able to analyze those information, those humongous data. Like we are getting millions of reads out of these machines called NGS. But what are we going to do with that humongous data? So bioinformatics professional is supposed to churn out that data, try to screen it further, and of course molecular biologist is going to further churn out that information to make some clinical sense out of it, which can be further utilized for, getting the information about the treatment which patient can be given further. So it is a combination of great skilled professionals along with the these complex technologies which is required. So one is not capable enough to handle everything. Apart from that, there are certain automated systems are available these days where we are just adding putting the barcoded tubes in the system, which are generating through the robotics arm and all. They are processing the tubes directly and giving and generating the report. Still, those information, whatever is getting generated by the system, needs to be verified by skilled professionals. So, what all said and done, the merger of highly professional, highly skilled professionals along with the advanced technology is very, very important to get that excellence both in India and neighboring countries.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am, when we are talking about India, a country which has such large population, one, which in itself is a hurdle for all the public health specialists and health organizations. Two, we have very mixed population. We have people from rural and urban, from low economic and high socioeconomic backgrounds living both in rural areas and urban areas.
Right.
So very mixed population demographics that we have. So how can we tackle this aspect of accessibility and affordability when it comes to laboratory services? So, as you have observed around the pandemic, these two hurdles have been the biggest for India. One is affordability of tests and treatments, and accessibility. When in situations like lockdown is a one-off, but in general, what would be your thoughts around this?
See, it was quite evident during pandemic that there is a infrastructure disparity. There is technological disparity across the country. If we talk about rural areas or maybe underdeveloped areas, there is a limitation as far as the technology is concerned. Then logistics was an issue, and during the pandemic phase, mainly logistic was a major problem. Supplies of kits and reagents was a problem. But I believe government had understood that, and there were few options and a few actions were taken. We were getting that rapid kits were available so that people can test themselves at their home. Then medicine was available, teleconsultation was available, and one very important point I would like to mention is that since we are a big country and we have our own manufacturing units, and there are so many companies, they had manufactured the kits. So since there was a shortage of supply in that particular era, as far as RT-PCR kits are concerned, so many manufacturing units had manufactured their own homebrew kit, and ICMR was posting those kits on their website. Those were NIV approved, ICMR approved, and the supply, which were initially getting little affected on these RT-PCR kits, we were getting more and more options, and eventually that situation was not there. But parallelly, we had another option of this rapid testing, which was available everywhere, which were easily accessible to everyone. So government has taken very, upfront, they had taken steps so that this situation could be handled, and we handled it very well, I believe. And if I talk about my organization as an organization, since I was the part of COVID testing team, we had increased our manpower. We had procured more RT-PCR machines. Our entire company was working towards it. Since other tests were not, we were not getting more tests apart from COVID in that pandemic, because people were more worried about this disease. So priority was this only, yeah. So people were not coming out for other testing. So entire company was focused on this testing only. So it was like a team was working as a single unit. Everybody focus was to fight against this pandemic, and we did really well. We took care of the large volume also, and we provided the service. It was 24 hours reporting time that time, so we could manage that, and we could manage high volume also. So supply was enough, our purchase and supply department worked well, our customer care service worked well. So as a unit, we could withstand that phase very well.
And ma'am, taking the learning points from the COVID era, let us not hope to have that kind of situation again.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But definitely keeping the learning points with us. And how do you see that helping the future decisions of the organization that are to be done?
See, basically, we need to think a little ahead. We have to be prepared for these kind of situations. That was a learning experience for all of us, in fact, for the entire diagnostic industry. So, first and very important point is you should be having all the advanced technologies and skilled manpower under one roof, so that if anything happens of that sort, we are well prepared and to face the situation again.
Definitely. And ma'am, so all the all across the country and in health sector as well, everybody is advocating for the Make in India concept. Not just a concept, but a movement, I would say, brought on by the government of India and being adopted by all different organizations of different sectors, including the diagnostics. So, how do you see, in order to align with the Make in India concept, what all has been done and what all is still required, and how do you see that form shaping the decisions that are coming?
So it is an important call from our government, and we advocate that as far as Make in India is concerned for diagnostic industry, I'll talk about the consumables, I'll talk about the reagents, and I'll talk about the machineries which we are using. So whatever and wherever available, we should always procure products which are available, which are homebrew, or maybe the manufacturing unit is in India only, or the R&D or the designing and development is done in India only. So we advocate that we are in collaboration with certain organization who are designing and developing their kit. We partnered with them for the validation part, and once we have done the thorough validation as per the guidelines, we had approved that kit so that they got the approval for diagnostic use, and we are using those kits in-house these days. So wherever possible and available, we are abiding to that, we are advocating to that, and we are putting that in practice wherever it is possible. As far as like this is one of the example where few of the kits were validated and approved by our organization, and we are using those kits at our facility now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And we come down to the very last two questions, one for the organization as always, and one from your personal opinions. So from the organization's aspect, what are the long-term goals of Onquest Laboratories that you are comfortable sharing with us, and aligning with the evolving needs of the healthcare and diagnostics industry and the patients?
See, our aim of Onquest Laboratories Limited is very clear. We aim to provide best-in-class services which can assist patient for providing a healthcare solution, to provide timely reporting and with the quality reports. So for that particular cause we need to have, we are having and will continue to have advancement in our technology part. We are having automation. We plan to have automation in future also wherever possible, and we are fostering collaboration with the healthcare providers so that we keep ourselves updated as far as the market need. There is a market need. So this is what I would like to mention about our future goal.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. And with that, we come down to the very last question of this session today. Very insightful session. And we got to know a lot about different aspects of the diagnostics industry. So for our audience, this eLet's Innovation Talk is not just for the industry, but also for the people who are aspiring to be part of this industry, who are young researchers or scholars or wanting to, go ahead in the diagnostics field. So for them, what would be your key takeaways so that they keep in mind and they are able to, provide or be part of good service, good results, and validated, reports, etc.?
So one important point which I would like to mention about this field is that this is a growing field and this will keep on growing. There's no way it will stop growing, because healthcare is one industry where we would be having more and more innovation, more and more technological advancements. So it is always going to be growing. First important point is that. Second is there are so many industries all around. So because of the competition, or because of this era of competition, we need to keep ourselves updated. So that is the beauty of this area. If you fall behind, you are nowhere. So when there is a scope of improvement, scope of learning, that is a more attractive point. to be in this particular area. I believe that is one point which everyone should keep in mind, that in whichever area you are going, that is associated with innovation. And since there is a competition, then you have to keep yourself updated and up to the mark, so that you sustain in the industry. So these are the 2 points which I would like to highlight to the young people who want to join this field. They aspire to become molecular biologists in future.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Vinay Bhatia, for such informative and insightful discussion with us. I would also like to thank Oncos Laboratories for giving us the opportunity to interact on the ELETS Innovative Talks. With that, we close this session now. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.